When you look at your goals, your daily goals, your weekly goals, your quarterly, your annual, right? They all must connect up, not in a straight line, but they connect up to this vision. The pathway to achieving your vision is through not the achievement of your goals. It's not through achieving your goals. It's by actually setting robust goals and very often not achieving them. In other words, setting your goals slightly above what you think you're capable of, not creating goals that are nonsensical. You can't, if you create a nonsensical goal, like, all right, next year I'm going to make $1 billion. That's not, even if that's a nonsense to me. But to say next year I'll make 25 million, it's very achievable for me, right? So probably I'll make more than that. The point is that if you set a goal too high, it has no power because your brain says bullshit. But if you set a goal too low, and that's what most people do, you're fucked. Because the enemy of great is what? Okay, it's good, it's average. Average is the enemy of great. Because what happens is with most people is the impetus to change and grow and take action comes from pain. And if you're feeling good, there's no point in, well, I'm feeling okay, why should I change? So what happens with most people is they don't ever achieve their vision is because they have goals that are basically impotent, they're flawed, they're not robust enough, they don't cause a person to stretch themselves. And through these series of stretches, sometimes you hit a goal, most of the time you don't. But the part of goal setting that's so important is that part of this is like taking massive, I won't go all about, that's a whole different aspect, setting goals. But the point is, one part of setting goals is you take massive action and analyze your results. And you see what's working and what's not, and then you change your approach based on what's not working. So what these goals allow, they're like, okay, I was looking to do X, and there's like these 20 things that will help connect me to my vision, right? Throughout these things, achievements, right? And then you have these other shorter term goals that sort of get you to even to those points. Well, the directional mechanisms, they tell you how far off, am I heading in the right direction or the wrong direction? Do I have to pivot this way, that way? A slight pivot or a major pivot? If you set your goals too low, guess what? You never pivot. You just go nowhere. You slowly end up settling into a life of mediocrity and averagism. That's what most people do. Versus setting these really robust goals. They stretch themselves, stretch themselves, and sometimes they achieve them, and they feel good about that, but their emotional investments in their vision, most of the times they don't. But the intelligence they gather by not achieving in terms of what was not working, what was working, allows them to try again, to change their approach and do the same thing again. And slowly but surely through this process of achievement and non-achievement, but stretch, you end up getting on this fucking roll that takes you to your vision. That's the way this really works in the real world. Goals by themselves have no power. Your emotional investment is in your vision. Every human being, and this you've heard me say, every human being is thirsty for a vision. Seriously, every human being wants one, and so few people have one. So what do? Well, they'll end up gravitating towards someone else who has a vision, and they'll buy into someone else's vision to help them achieve it. That's what ends up happening in the real world. So the question I have for you is, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a chief or an Indian? The chief is the visionary. The Indian is the one that follows the vision. And let me tell you something, there's nothing, by the way, there's some fucking really wealthy Indians out there. Just make sure that if you're buying into someone else's vision, that vision also has a pathway for you to live an amazing life yourself. There's nothing, I have a lot, my company, we have a vision, it's a vision I had, we're all part of it, and it's a vision that will empower everyone. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is don't go through life without a vision that will empower you as well. Make sure at the end of the day, if you're working in a job, you're out there that if you put the time in, you're going to get the result. You get paid correctly, you have advancement. That's the key. And if you're an entrepreneur, it's pretty obvious what you do, okay? Love you all. Again, set your goals, but remember, stretch yourself. Don't worry about whether you hit them or not. They just use them as intelligence gathering tools, directional finders, to show you whether you're heading in the right direction or the wrong direction. And remember, this road to success, you know what it's paved with? Success. Like the road to happiness, happiness is not a destination. It's like what you bring to everything you do. Same thing goes with success. The road to success is paved with success. You don't become successful with shitty actions. You have small successes that culminate in massive success. That's what your goals are about, connecting you up in a logical way that also hits you in the gut because it connects to your vision, that's how you achieve massive success and get rich. All right? Talk again tomorrow.